The moment I get engaged to my significant other, his mom, my soon-to-be mother-in-law, goes absolutely bonkers. She wants to control everything. She wants to control the future wedding. She wants to control my hair length, my dress, the color of the decor. I mean, absolutely everything, as if it's her wedding. So you know what? I'm not going to stand for it. And yeah, he's being a complete floor mat, a mama's boy, whatever you want to call him. He's ridiculous. He's pathetic. And I've had it up to here with him. So you know what? I'm not going to break up with him because I do love him, but there's something I need to do. I'm going to begin my story with a bit of context. My fiancé, I'm going to call him Joey for the sake of the story. Well, my fiancé and I were supposed to get married this year. But after my mother-in-law took everything and, she took over the wedding plans, crossed the line by cutting and dyeing my hair before the wedding without my consent, and I don't know, Joey just thought I'm overreacting. So I called off the marriage. Joey and I have been in a relationship for a year now. I was in my final year of college, I was studying law, and he was a computer technician. Being from two different industries, we hit it off, mainly because our likes and dislikes were similar. In only a few months' time, we were head over heels for each other. So when he proposed, everything seemed to be, meant to be, and I agreed happily, even though it was quite soon. Before his proposal, I had only met Joey's mother once. It was about 6 months after our dating, and I was nervous about that meeting. I wanted to be on her good side, because Joey always talks about his mom, about how she cooks, how she's good at everything. I thought it was sweet that he was a mama's boy. Joey never used to make a big deal out of what I was wearing or how much makeup I was using, but on the day of our meeting, he specified what look I should actually go for. I don't know, I found it adorable back then because I thought that he was also wanting his mother to look like me. But boy, I was wrong. So, after arriving at his mother's house, I was shocked by witnessing the different side of Joey. His mother is extremely dominating, and Joey is like her lapdog. Later, I found out it was her who precisely told Joey that I should be, wearing this or that for a meeting. I was disappointed for sure, because I thought it was Joey who wanted me to look special for that day. But I did not mind his relationship with his mom, because she was smiling at me the whole time, and she was very happy that her son chose me. We haven't met after that. I thought her overpowering attitude would not affect our relationship that much, but after Joey's proposal, things started to take a bitter turn. To start, we personally went to her house for dinner to share the good news. I was excited to see her happy face, but her first reaction was to ask the dates of the wedding. We said we were planning for the wedding on the 24th, which was 4 months from that day. A day later, she called us and said that we had to change the date to make it to December, because her daughter, who lives in a different city, would not be able to make it as she's going to Switzerland with her husband. Well, I tried to tell her I've just started practicing law at a reputed firm. I'd already applied for leave, and changing the dates would leave a very bad impression on me. Other than that, arranging a whole wedding in only 2 months will be a huge pressure. So, she invites us for dinner over the weekend, and after the dinner, she gave me a dramatic sigh and said, "I just only wanted to have a ceremony where all my family members will be. You should learn to respect your elders." She didn't even consider my issues once, and she wants me to respect her. It was literally my wedding, not her daughter's. However, Joey started to nag to me constantly after the dinner that we should go with her chosen date, and she would help me in the wedding planning. I did not like a single bit of it, because I wanted to plan my wedding with my fiancé, and I wanted to do it at our own pace. But Joey's constant nagging made it evident that that would not happen. So I eventually agreed with him. After all, it was his wedding too. I thought I only would just be collaborating with his mother and having a second opinion from an experienced older person who would, do only good. But once the wedding planning started, I realized that the lady had totally different understandings of collaborations. Suddenly, she was the one in charge. I became a sidekick in my own story, and I just wanted to have a beach-themed wedding where Joey proposed to me, but she wasn't having it. So she decided to set the wedding at the church, where she wanted her daughter to get married, but she rejected it because it was too normal for her taste. She didn't even let me join in on some of her plans. because according to her, and I quote, I only oppose her choices. Oh, I forgot to tell you, she took her friends to choose the wedding menu and band without even telling me. Turns out there was at least 4 seafood items that I'm allergic to. When I told her, she made an obvious face saying, I won't be eating too much on my wedding day anyways to make sure I don't look fat. So I can easily skip some dishes for the menu. I discussed some of this with Joey, and well, she was getting hard for me to bear. Joey just gave me a look that clearly said I hate his mom, and I still decided to cooperate with her, because the Joey I'd known when we met was a good man, and his mother would not be involved in our life as much as she is now. Next week, she demanded to come along for my wedding dress shopping. I had no right to say no, so I took her with me and my brother and friends. I was so happy that I had found what I was looking for, but she out of nowhere selected a dress that she liked so much and just stated that she, quote, always imagined her son's bride in it. My brother and friends found it weird, because how could she imagine me in that dress when she just randomly picked a dress from the store so that she could have her way? I thought the dress was rather weird, and definitely not my style. She can choose the menus and all, but she has no right to decide how I should look on my wedding day. So I tried to be as polite as I could be. I apologized and thanked her for the, quote, imagination, but told her that I'd already settled on a dress and I had, imagined myself wearing it at my ceremony. She was definitely not happy with my reaction. It was evident that she would complain to my fiancé about it even. So, just as I thought, Joey came home and started ranting about how I don't like his family, that I'm ungrateful for turning his mother down, and how could I include my family members but not want to include her in the process? I don't understand. It was my wedding dress. How did she get a say in it? He made a bitter face and declared that this attitude of mine was not working for him. So the next day, I came home and you know what? I discovered that he had replaced my wedding dress with the one that his mom liked. So I called him, and he was clear about what he did, so I absolutely lost my temper at this point and started to scream at him. He requests me to calm down and just give me, this dress a chance. That day, I left his house and went to stay with my parents. Joey started to contact me and apologize for how he reacted, but he made it crystal clear that I still have to wear the dress and I, can make some alterations to it if I need to make it fit my choice. I agreed to the terms and made it crystal clear that it would be the last thing that she had ever overtaken. Things were fine for the next few days. I went to my wedding shoe shopping and center table decor, and she went with me but did not say anything. I almost thought she would respect my opinions from now on, but that attitude of hers did not last long, because things escalated really quickly when she suddenly out of nowhere asked me to cut my hair and dye it 2 days before the wedding. This is where she crossed the line with a smile, and I think she went far too far. So, this time I did not try to make an apology face. With a straight face I said no. I love my mid-length long blonde hair and want to keep it that way for my wedding day. There's no way I'm going to cut it short and dye it before my wedding. My hair, my rules. But I think by standing up for myself with my decisions and my rough attitude towards her made the lady mad. 'Cause what she did next was absolutely unforgivable. At night, 2 days before the wedding, my about-to-be mother-in-law invited us over for dinner. We were done with all the shopping and arrangement, so we decided that we would be spending these last 2 days relaxing, taking a spa, and all I wanted to do was decline her invitation because, staying around her would give me wrinkles on my forehead, and I didn't want that. But after rejecting her meddling with my hair, she oddly was nice to me. So I accepted her invitation. After all, I wanted to have a good relationship with her, and if she changed her mind, I think that I should give her a chance. When we reached her house, she answered the door with a warm smile. Now, if I think about it, it wasn't really warm, it was actually very, very creepy. So, she guided us to her dining room, and upon entering there, I noticed fancy decorations that she put out for us. Fancy chinas, my favorite flowers, silverware. I would have never expected that from her. It was evident that she was trying to impress me. Maybe she was feeling guilty after months of torment. That's what I thought. We were having quality time at her house, getting used to her extra friendly behavior. I mean, it was not normal for her, especially after I harshly rejected her opinion. But whatever. I was about to have my big day, so I did not bother to mind with those thoughts. Probably she's also happy that her son will get married. She said she took out her special bottle of wine just for me and declared that the bottle opener was in the kitchen, so, she would pour it there and bring it to me in a few minutes. Well, I just insisted that, of course, I would join her and help her, but she strongly denied the offer and told me I should relax. I was, cooling off after how I was getting pampered. Little did I know that she wanted to be alone so that she could slip sleeping pills into my drink. Yep, that's right. After a few sips of wine, I was feeling sleepy and dizzy. I tried to tug Joey's shirt to tell him that we should go home, but he just ignored me. They were busy with their conversation, and I thought I should put some water in my face to freshen up a bit. So I finished the rest of my wine from my glass, and I don't know, I just tried to get up from my seat, but my dizziness took over, and I slumped back on the seat. That caught everybody's attention, and Joey looked at me with a worried face, but mother-in-law kept an expressionless face. She insisted that we should not go home today as we were drunk, and she should sleep in her own house. I didn't argue because I was feeling like at any moment I would faint. Upon seeing my situation, mother-in-law offered to take me to her room, which was right beside the dining hall. I was leaning on her shoulder and she was guiding me to her room. She helped me lie down on her bed, and before I could close my eyes, she came close to my ears and had a devilish smirk, and it was plastered on her face when she whispered, "Brats like you deserve this." Well, I couldn't even open my eyes to react. The next day, when I woke up with a horror that I could not imagine happening, my hair was chopped with a dyed brown hair. My hair was gone. By chopped off, I mean, it's like a bob. I look like Dora the Explorer. I was fuming in anger, and I knew who was behind all this. That devilish smirk she gave yesterday was crippling in my mind. Her good behavior towards me last night was giving it away. Why did I fall into her trap? How could I be so stupid to let this happen? Now, I was sure that she mixed something into my drink last night, because she was alone in the kitchen and she was just insisting me not to join. And the whole time I was fine, but the dizziness started just after I sipped my drink. All this plays just so that I could stay there and she would get her way with me. I was 1 second away from slapping that woman to an absolute new dimension, guys. I don't know. I was just, looking around for her, running around the house, shouting her name as loud as I could. And, well, I think that she was not in the house at the moment. Of course, she wouldn't be. She knows what can be the consequence of her deed. I could not control my frustration. To seek some kind of answers, I rushed to Joey. I was screaming at him and threatening him, and tears were falling down any moment from my eyes. I explained the situation from the beginning, and the speculation that she slipped a sleeping pill without my consent, expecting some solidarity or at least what on earth happened. Instead, his next words made my speculations of being drugged by my mother-in-law very clear. He hit me with, "Well, my mom thought a new look would suit you better for the wedding photos, and I know about the pill. It's so funny, right? My mom said you're a stubborn kid, and by the way, the hair looks cute on you." Wait a second. Hold up. Rewind. Since when did she become the queen of my decision? And the word consent exists for a reason, and I can't believe Joey knew about the sleeping pill and he let her do it. There was literally not a single ounce of sorry in his eyes. I can't believe that we were about to vow to protect each other. There's no way that I'll be marrying this guy. I regretted even agreeing to his proposal in the first place, and this is just too much. For the name of love, I've had enough. I called off the wedding and went to my parents' house. The woman made me believe I was worthless with her overpowering traits, and this time she physically attacked me. My parents knew some of the incidents happened before, and I guess they sensed it on the wedding dress shopping day. This time I discussed everything from the beginning to the end, and my brother suggested discussing the matter with my lawyer friend and reporting her. So, I arranged a very important meeting with my lawyer friend just to discuss the case. I told him everything, and he simply told me that I should definitely file a report against her as this is clearly a violation of my personal rights, and advised me absolutely not to go through with the marriage because I simply deserve better. To be honest, I'm kind of confused, because Joey's been trying to contact me. He keeps saying that I'm making a huge deal out of nothing, and his mom only knows what's good for him and me. I personally don't think I'm making a big deal. I really don't. I mean, I've never been in this kind of situation. Do you guys think that I overreacted? Please, I would love to hear from you. What's up, everybody? Mr. Reddito here. Oh man, can you even believe that? Somebody drugging you and then cutting your hair off, and then your significant other just says, I think the hair looks good on you. It was just a sleeping pill. I mean, what a loser. Guys, if you think the story's over there, well, you must be new to the channel, because this story comes complete with every single update, and oh boy, are they juicy. My name's Mr. Reddito. I narrate stories like this every day, and if you guys want to be a part of these daily stories, consider subscribing to the channel. It only takes a second. Click that subscribe button. Thank you so much, guys. You know what? Here is your first update. Update number 1. It's been 3 months since my ex-mother-in-law drugged me and chopped off all of my hair. I'm happy that so many people read my story and shared their advice. It helped to clear my confusion. For those who are saying I'm making a big deal out of nothing, I can easily wear a wig on my wedding day, guys. Let me clear the air. First, my mother-in-law talks about how I should care about everything, but she never cares about me. I was adjusting the whole time in the wedding preparation just so she could get what she wanted. I mean, I was so mad when she forced her son to replace the wedding dress, but I still went with her dress. I kept reminding myself that she's old and I should give her some respect. But how can you respect somebody when they can go as far as drugging you and meddle with your privacy? Now, she drugged me for my hair. What if later she did something even more violent just because she didn't like the way I stood up for myself? Calling off the marriage is totally making sense to me. I wanted my partner to respect my opinion and protect me, but Joey was there the whole time and did nothing. My trust in him started to vanish when he replaced the dress. But now the trust is completely broken. I'll be scared to sleep near him, because who knows what he can do in my unconscious state. However, I did file a complaint against my ex-mother-in-law for violating my rights. There's no way that I'll let that woman get away with what she did. My lawyer friend offered to take the case because my mental state was so fragile after months of getting toyed by that woman. I was not ready. I assured my friend that I would help him in every possible way. I even started doing background checks on the both of them. I'm piling up all the information so that I can use it properly. The marriage was off the charts for forever. Before our court date, I called Joey to meet me at the cafe so that I could give the ring back to him. Well, he thought I called him to ask for forgiveness, and he thought that he would convince me to take down the case. He stormed into the cafe with a smirk, the court order in his hand, and threw it at my face, complaining about how I could be like this. I'm a snake, I'm inhuman, and whatnot. He declared that he knows that I would request him to take me back, and he expected a few tears to be dropped from me. But I was expressionless throughout his stupid little lecture. I've had enough of him bullying nature, so I threw a ring on his face instead, and with a smirk I told him, "See you in court, buddy," and I left him there. Before leaving the cafe, I looked over my shoulder and took a glance at him. He was sitting there absolutely dumbfounded. Now, I'll have to wait for the court date. Not gonna lie, guys. I'm kinda nervous to meet my ex-mother-in-law again. I hope she doesn't do anything stupid before the court date, but, I don't want to be let down. Update number 2. The court case. Wow. Sorry I could not answer everybody because the court case was not finalized during my last update. Now, I can't wait to finally share the story. My lawyer friend presented the files to the judge. We've collected every clue and evidence that we could find, and even though Joey confessed to me before that he knew his mother drugged me, I know he will take his mother's side and won't open his mouth now. But after doing some background checks on him, I found out his multiple criminal records for drunk driving and destroying government property, and he's wanted by the police. All of these actions happened before we met. I was cursing myself for being so in love that I ignored his past red flags, but I realized that I could use it against him and make him witness against his own mom. I called him to the cafe again, and this time I had my lawyer friend present. Last time he was so angry at me, so I don't know, I couldn't take the risk of going there alone. I told him I knew all his crimes and that I would hand him over to the police if he refused to be my alibi. Without thinking about the consequences, he agreed to save himself. The judge looked at the files, and after about 15 minutes, she ordered my ex-mother-in-law to pay the money that I claimed, which was about $20,000. That dumb lady wasn't having it. She was so used to getting her way until I came along. She starts lying about the whole situation, claiming that she had my permission for the actions. Well, the judge was not having all the bullcrap, because I was firmly against the idea of cutting my hair, and my friend had witnessed it all. She then claimed that she had not drugged me at all, but it was my time to shine, as my lawyer called my ex-fiancé as my alibi. I wish I had proper words to express my ex-mother-in-law's face at the sight. It looked like her whole life was flashing right in front of her. She accepted her defeat at this point, and for the first time she could not get away with, things. It felt amazing to witness her face that screams failure, not gonna lie. Before leaving the courtroom, she gave me a look that screamed that she was planning for my end. The lady is not going to be up to any good. I think I have to be aware of my surroundings from now on. She's lost it. Update number 3. Thank you guys, for real, for all the good wishes that I got for winning the case. I really appreciate it. It's been a month since my last update, and in that last month, some bad things happened, but I dealt with it. Ex-mother-in-law burst into my doorstep 3 times and screamed, while, waking the whole neighborhood, saying how big of a gold digger I am and how I could provoke her son against her. So, to be honest, winning the case against her helped me to regain my self-worth. Previously, I was so drunk in love that I was busy to please an arrogant person like her. I'd seen some neighbors peeping from their window to see what was going on. I'm peaceful by nature, and arguing is not my thing, especially those who don't deserve any justification. Well, I didn't even open the door. I didn't. I just let her scream from the outside, but on the 3rd time, her approaches were getting violent. She was constantly knocking on the door and pressing the doorbell, and I just lost it when she was knocking on the window as well, and I finally opened up the door to let her in. So, she thought that she owned me or something. I don't know. Because the first thing that she did after I closed the door behind her was to give a tight slap across my cheeks. Well, I slapped her back with the same force, and the next thing you know, she was whimpering on the floor, still mumbling incoherent curses at me. So I sat on the couch and dropped the bomb by disclosing her son's criminal charges. She gave me a look that clearly said, "How do you know all these?" So I couldn't really control my laughter at this point, and she was so full of herself that she didn't even know that I was a lawyer. I threatened her that if I saw her anywhere near me and my family in the future, I would not hesitate to give the son to the police. And I would make sure that he ended up in jail. I also reminded her that if I was a gold digger, I could have blackmailed her son with the crimes to milk out his money. Instead, I only used it to give him a chance to do something truthful. Well, she slowly gets up from the floor and left. Her head was hanging low all the time I was talking, and I don't know if she realized her mistake or not, but I don't care. I just don't want to get involved with that toxic family anymore. So, after about 1 week, both the son and mother showed up in my office. They thought that they would create a scene and tell everybody that I blackmailed him. I was done with their petty attempts at this point, guys. So I called the police on him and handed him over. I thought I would stay true to my word and would not disclose it, but jail was the only way to, quote, shut them up. It's the only thing that would work on him. Seeing the scene, his mother tried to slap me again, but my coworker stopped her. I know that she's still not satisfied. She'll show up at my door anytime, and I have to be prepared for a good comeback. Update number 4. Hey guys, this is going to be the final update. It's been about 5 months and many things in my life have changed for good. And I'm so happy that you guys like the way I shut my ex-mother-in-law out. Some of you asked me if I still love Joey. Well, to answer the question, no, I don't. But there was a time that I pitied him. Even though it was not for long, Joey at the beginning of our dating phase was a sweet person, a loving, caring partner that you could really rely on. After his mom came into our lives, he started showing his true self. His bullying nature towards me was enough for me to break away from our relationship, let alone his dark history. Guys, to be honest, after the wedding dress incident, I was so upset with him that his criminal histories were no surprise to me. He was not the man I said yes to spend my life with. I heard, mother-in-law had to pay a lot of money to clear Joey's charges. Maybe that's why she's humbled up, I guess. I hope that Joey has learned his lessons now, but around 1 month ago, my old neighbors/friend told me Joey in his drunken state ran into his car into a cafe, breaking the glass walls and damaging all the property. Thankfully, nobody got hurt. After a few days, his mother showed up at my doorstep again. But this time, she was there to beg for money so that she could bail her son out. She even tried to guilt-trip me, saying once I was his lover, and it's my responsibility to get him out of jail. This time, the damage was huge, and they needed to pay a hefty amount of cash to bail him out. This time, her words were not working on me, and I told her that her son needed a lesson, and there was no way that I would side with a criminal. She left, and this time there was no hate in her eyes for me. Well, just helplessness. Both of them deserve the outcome that they've received. Finally, both of them are out of my life now, and I'm moving on to my new life gradually. My parents and brothers were a huge support for me in those past months. They helped me to get back into my old self, and I got a gig in one of the biggest firms. And I've even recently started working there. I found a new apartment for myself and also near my parents' place. People might see the 2 years I've wasted for Joey and my ex-mother-in-law as a complete waste of time, but I would take that as a lesson for whom to avoid. From now on, I will not rush into making decisions or accepting offers without giving it a thought or discussing it with my close friends and family. By the way, my hair has grown a lot since then, and my natural blonde hair is almost touching the end of my earlobes. I tried to remove the brown color, but that woman used permanent color, so I had to bleach it to match with the upper part of my hair. Well, anyways, my lawyer friend, whom I mentioned before, was recently asked me to go on a date. Yup. I don't know if I'm ready for another relationship right now, and I'm scared that if it fails, I will ruin a good friendship. Well, we know each other from college, and he knows my ups and downs, as I know his, and I still have not answered him yet. But one thing is sure, that I will not rush to give him an answer. You know what, guys? This is like one of the stories to me that's so obvious. I don't blame OP at all. I mean, getting rid of that relationship. You know what? The biggest red flag to me during this entire story was the fact that the soon-to-be husband knew that the mom was about to drop those sleeping pills and then cut her hair, and he was just okay with it, didn't care about OP's feelings, didn't care about the outcome, didn't care about being remorseful, absolutely nothing. He was the complete definition of a mama's boy. I'm not saying it's bad to be a mama's boy, but this is just too far. Guys, I want to hear your thoughts about it in the comment section. Here's the question: if you were in OP's shoes, what would you have done about this? I can't wait to hear from you guys. My name's Mr. Reddito. I narrate stories like this all the time, every day. And if you guys want to be a part of these stories, consider subscribing. Also, check out my other 2 channels, Mr. Reddito's Stories and Mr. Reddito's Revenge. Those are my 3 channels. You're on the 3rd one right now, guys. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. And of course, remember, it's cool to be kind.